or welcome back to another video. So today's video is going to be a little different. I just wanted to go over 3D molds, silicone molds. They have become a huge thing. Excuse me. Oh my god. A huge hit lately. I remember a few years ago when they first started, you could only really get sort of like the basic sort of, you know, charm things, and now it's just crazy. There's just a mold for everything, literally everything. Molds are fantastic for, it's just unlimited charms, isn't it? You know, you can customize and make them to whatever colour or theme or whatever that you want. So I do have a few molds. I don't have as many as some people. I have mine stored like this. Now these are the little pull-outs from MelodySusie gel polish from the Sweet Scent boxes that they come in, and they're ideal. They're nice and sturdy. And then the smaller molds I store in these little plastic sort of envelopes. I think it's supposed to be jewellery storage or something, which I get from Temu. Some come in little boxes, and some I've put into like this style box, which I do put some press-ons in that I sell. So different types of molds. Let me just shimmy that to that side a little bit. So you have molds like this. So these are really shallow. They're not very deep at all. You know, to make they make more of a easy to encapsulate rather than a charm. And then there's ones like this, which give you more sort of like a sticker type of texture. So they're really shallow. Then we have like this one. So these, you can get some like this where these sort of designs are inset into like a nail shape, and it's actually curved. So they're shallow-ish. So they're gonna make you some like flat charms, and they're gonna come out the mold curved, so they'll go onto the nail. And then you've got like these type, which are kind of like shallow, but obviously they're not curved, so they're going to be, you know, like flat back. And I mean, I've got some really intricate ones, to be honest with you. Some of them are crazy. This one is probably, I love using this one. So these, excuse the state of them, honestly. These are curved and they're quite shallow, quite detailed. But I'll go over some bits of like what I do, you know, to get it so you can get into the crevices and things. And then you get things like that. And where's there is one that I don't know. And there's another one that come on a curved mold, Egyptian theme, and then you get ones like this. They're all flat, and so right, where are you? Yeah, that one will do. So ones like this, like the peacock. I've got ones that have got like the mermaid and everything as well. Now, as you can see, they're on like a curve. The different sizes, but the detail, you know, where you've really got to get everything in to make sure that you don't miss any gaps, otherwise it's not going to quite look right. So I'm gonna I'll do some on that one, some on that one, and I'll do like some really thin ones. What do you do? I'll put you in there. Right, so let me just I've got myself in a right couple. 1 second. Okay, right. Right, so products I use with 3D molds. Majority of the time I use a milky white gel polish. My favourite milky white is the Born Pretty one, but I don't want to use it all the time because I get through a lot of it. So I found this one on Amazon, and it's an 18ml bottle, and I'm sure it was only something like $2.99. So I like the milky white because obviously it's not like a solid colour. You can also use, like rhinestone glue, that's a clear. You can use like, these are like, it says carving gel, they are carving, but they're more like a clay. So you can push that in. And you can also use, where are you? Things like this. There's various different ones, you know, like the non-stick. You can use a builder gel. Like I say, there are so many things, but what you've got to think of is, so builder gel, as its use is to apply a thicker layer to a nail, isn't it, to build strength. So you know that you're going to be okay applying a thicker amount of that into a silicone mold than you are to something like this, which is a gel polish, because gel polishes are designed to go on in thin layers, cured in between, and build the colour up. Non-stick extension gels and things like that, obviously they are designed to cure in a more thicker amount, so you'd be okay to use those in, say, like a really deep mold and push them in. Where did I put, actually, because I know I want to be ideal, like this. So you'd be able to fill all of that with like a non-stick gel in one go, more than you'd be able to. You'd have to do layers if you were using a gel polish, because a gel polish is designed to go on in thin layers for it to cure properly. Rhinestone glue, depending on the brand as to how thick it is, but again, we don't, when we use rhinestone glue, we don't use a huge amount, do you know what I mean? So you do have to take things like that into consideration when using molds. So when using them, there's a few different ways that you can do them. So you can, I mean, you can even use actually like these type of palettes, pat gels, but you also have to consider with these that these are designed to be applied to the nail with a sponge, like in thin layers. So if you're going to use one of these, you will need to mix this with a clear gel. So you could mix it with a top coat or a base coat, or I use this, which I get from well, I used to get it from Temu, but you can't get hold of them on Temu no more. I think it'll be on Shein. And I mix this with a little tiny bit of that if you want the colour, and it still keeps the thickness. So that is probably the best sort of way, that if you're using moulds and you don't know what to put in it, think of what the product is that you're using. So if you're using a gel polish, it's thin. When you apply it to a nail, you apply it thin for it to cure. If you're applying it as a builder or something like that, sorry about Mabel, then obviously thicker. So what you can do is you can paint in on the little details and cure as you go. You can flash cure, but then make sure you do fully cure as well, otherwise if you keep putting stuff on top, it's not going to cure. Or you could just fill it and then paint it when it comes out. So I'll have a go at doing both, shall we? No, oh, where is it? I've got one brush that's like I use specifically for moulds and I've lost it. How sodding typical is that? That's multifunctional oval. Pray. I only used it yesterday, so what on earth have I done with it? Right. 1 second. Right. I genuinely don't know where that has gone. That has really confused me because I literally only used it yesterday, and it's specifically what I use for my moulds. Anyway, I'm going to go with this. So this one's like a petal brush. It says multifunction on it. I do use it for a bit of all sorts. The reason why I have a specific one for... Oh, I've put it in. That's why. There it is. So I just use a little liner, and I use this specifically because pushing the gel into the mould curls the end, so it just saves me from ruining multi-type brushes, and I find that it goes in better with a brush rather than a silicone tool sometimes. It's really weird. Okay, so if we're going to paint this in the mould before we like put the rest in, if you're going to do that, I would say to use a jelly gel polish. One that has some, that does have transparency, it's just because it's on a natural tip. One that has some sort of transparency to it, so that it will, saying that that's going to be a bit dark because I'm doing Hello Kitty. What am I doing? Picking up red. Let's just give it a neon pink. So you can see-ish where to put things. It depends sometimes on like whether I do this first or not. So generally sort of try and get the gel in on the bits that you want and sort of spread it around, and then sort of add to make sure everywhere's covered. I mean, we can always touch up, you know, afterwards when it comes out of the lamp. But this is the way that I started doing them. And like I say, it just depends on the type of mould. So I don't want to go too thick. This is just going to be the initial sort of placing the gel down. Gel goes where gel has been. So you can see a little bow coming together. and then just add a little bit in there. And I like using the brush because you can see if you've got any air bubbles, and you can use it to sort of like push the air bubbles out. We want to make sure it gets into all of those little nooks and crannies. I'm just going to put it on there so it's easier to put in and pull out the lamp. Right, so I'm going to give that a full cure before I do the next bit. So I'll be back 1 second. Right. So that's cured, so I'm going to put more in now. And this is where we're going to sort of fill it that little bit more. Right, so, and then if you get any bits that you want to remove, you could use a small silicone tool, some of these like little, oops, Q-tippy type things, Q-tippy. So there we go, I think a bow's okay. So that in. Right, so we're going to need, so she needs a paler pink for her cheeks and yellow for her nose. So, why do I not have yellow? Oh, they're hiding from me. So there's another jelly, and with it being a small amount, we might be okay with something like this. So tiny little drop of that for her cheeks, and a little drop of this for her nose. And she's got a tiny nose. So when it comes to like the eyes, jelly black. If you don't have jellies, you can use full colour polishes and mix them. Put like a tiny drop in with some base gel, top coat, whatever, whichever you prefer. or that mixing gel. She probably should have done the eyes when she comes out the lamp. She's going to have some demon eyes. Another thing you can use actually for cleanup was probably easier because it's easier to clean is like a small silicone tool, and you can like wipe off from around the edges. Like so. Right, so I'm going to put that in, cure that, and I'll be right back. Right, okay, so the face is cured. So this is where I would then go in with some milky white. See if I can get like a come on. So I'd pull, just clean off my little brush. Okay, so that's a good splodge in there. And then I would spread it around. To make sure that we got it where we need it. Now obviously these are, you know, if I was to fill this, well, which I'm gonna, so these are going to be like quite chunky because this is quite a deep mold, which is why it's taking so many layers. Told you she's got scary eyes, but we'll fix that. I should have just left them. Right, so I'll stick that in for a cure. Make sure we get to there. That's it. So that's going to go in for a cure. Be right back. Okay, and now the next lot of the milky white. I've seen some people use the molds and then they would fill that with the gel polish in one go, do you know what I mean? And it's like, oh, it's not going to cure. Because whether it's a charm or on your nail, do you know what I mean? You don't need any uncured gel. Okay, so we just tidy up around these edges on the outside. Just a little bit up in that ear. Oh, I've missed a little bit in her ear at the top, but because I've cured that first bit now, I don't know if I can get it in. Oh well, that's me rushing. Right, so full cure again. Now what I'm going to do when that comes out is I'm going to back it with some rhinestone glue. Now this, so you can get like these and you can put gel polishes in them to make them easier to get into the silicone mold. You can buy specific like UV resins. You can use normal UV resin. At the end of the day, gel polish is a form of resin. I just find these sometimes you get this one just seals itself. I can't bloody unblock it. And sometimes you get bubbles. There we go, it's starting to come out now. Oh my goodness. Maybe I'm not going to use that one because that's going to do my head in. Rhinestone glue or builder gel, so I'm just going to use this clear builder gel. And builder gel can go in a little bit thicker. Obviously, if you've got like a, you know, like a milky white builder gel. So just sort of fill the mold with this. Move it around, make sure everywhere's covered. And then that one in. Oh. Okay, so then while that one's curing, we'll go on to this one, these types. So these, like this shell one, they're not that deep. So these I would go in with my milky white. If you can see, so like this one has like a little lip, so I want to brush underneath to make sure that we get right up the edges. So you could use, if you wanted to, a coloured shell straight up, I'd use a jelly gel polish in here. That looks really pretty though, doesn't it? This is a new mould that I've recently got. I got it specifically because it being that little bit more shallow. And we buy these types of charms all the time. Well, I know I do. And it's like, why don't we just make our own? So that one's filled. So I'm going to put that in for a full 60 seconds and then I'm going to flip it over and do 60 seconds on the other side as well. Right, so this one's ready to come out. So to pop it out, you just sort of spread the mould. There she is. See what I mean? I missed it here. She's got, there was a little air bubble just there. So we've got like a bit of a dip at the back. So to just smooth that, I'll do this over here. Just get some alcohol on the lint-free wipe. Just wipe it. So the front of it, the product that you've put in first will probably more than likely have a matte finish, and that is because when it's in the mould, oxygen doesn't get to it on that side when it's curing. But whatever you put in the back will still have the inhibition layer unless you use top coat to finish it off. So that's got like a nice little dip in. Now what I would do is I would use that when I'm putting it on the nail, and I'd fill that so the whole charm would have a really good splodge of UV rhinestone glue in there to adhere to the nail. So there's that one. She's a bit messed up. This is why I don't generally do them that way anymore, because I just flip that over and put that in. So the other way of doing it is we can fill with one of these like extension gels, sculpting gels, non-stick things, and you want to put in a bit at a time and just sort of like really push it in. I mean, I'm no expert with moulds. This is just, oh no, I've got a big chunk of glitter on there. Come here. This is just ways that I have found that works for me. I didn't specifically go looking, you know, I just sat and played. And like when it comes to like the thickness of the products and what ones to use in what mould and how to do it, it is just really sort of you know, use your common sense. You know, if you're putting in something which isn't designed to be put on the nail, because half of this stuff isn't, what I'm using is not made for using in silicone moulds. This is nail products, but I'm just using them for something else. So if it's not made to go on the nail thick, don't put it in the mould thick. Just a little bit there in a little bow. This little tool I got from AliExpress, and honestly it's just brilliant, absolutely brilliant. It's really handy for this. It's really, it just makes scooping the stuff out a lot easier, and that is really nice, you know, for making the flowers, and you've seen me use it for cleaning up bits and all sorts. So there we are. Just gonna make sure that is all right in. I think, oh, there might be a little bit on the bow that I've missed. But I think we're good. So that was that one in. And again, I'm going to do 60 seconds on one side, on that side, and then 60 seconds, and I'll flip it over again, like, so we want to make sure. Just let me put the lid on there. Okay, so then this one, let's pop it out. How pretty is that? It's just stunning, isn't it? So, right, what I would then do, if you want to colour it or add any details to it, I'd get like a little nail stand, and I would stick it to that. Now, we can use gel polish or inks. I have been using inks quite a lot lately. They don't add any bulk, you haven't got to cure them, and they are fab for just sitting in the details of the mould, because obviously you're going to go over with a top coat, aren't you? You go over with a top coat. A top coat is designed to fill in grooves and smooth everything out. So we want to get those little details sort of highlighted, I suppose, if you want to say. I'm just going to make sure I've got all around the edge. So these are just alcohol inks which I got from AliExpress. They are on Amazon, different brands. I do use them quite a bit. I just find that they look so pretty. So now I'm just going to do like a second coat. And then I'm just going to leave that to dry in the air. It's really pretty. I love doing it with ink, so I'm just going to leave that to dry. Just flip this one over. Next one is something shallow like this, or I've got a lace mould as well. So this is like chains, and I got this because obviously they're going to be easier to encapsulate, and I can make chains in any colour that I want. So I need something that's, I can put this on to get it in and out, that's a bit bigger. I'll just use that. Hopefully you'll be able to see what I'm doing as well. So with these, I'd use my milky white or jelly black or whatever. I'm going to use this neon pink so we can see it. And I'm just going to paint that onto the mould like so. I'm just going to go backwards and forwards, dab it in. Honestly, moulds are just so much fun, and the best thing to do is to just have a go. You know, if you're not sure whether your gel polish is going to work, and just try it, you know, make something with it. And then, you know, if you want to make sure that it's cured, you can try cutting it. Change your curing times. It's just all fun. And I'm going to get like a little scraper. Just going to slowly pull that. Clean that off. Okay. So then I'm going to put that into the lamp. And then this one's ready to come out. So give her a little trim. Or let me find, I've got these little scissors, one sec. Like these are supposed to be cuticle stickers, but I find them really handy for stuff like this. I'd never use these on cuticles. I don't know how people do it. So I'm just going to trim around there. Okay, so there's our little Hello Kitty with the extension moulding gel thing. So I'm going to put her there. Get off. And then, now with my lace mould, I don't need to put like a base coat on to pull it up. So we're going to try this. But what I like to do is just give it a little wipe over with some alcohol on a lint-free wipe, and that should get rid of, you know, like all the little, well, not all of them, but the majority of the little excess bits at the side that's on the mould. So, and make it easier for the clean-up part. So let's just open it up. Slowly pull it out. Love it. Let me. So there we have it. Let me put it on the other side. There's our pink chain. So that is obviously, because it's used with gel polish, you've still got some flexibility. Stay, get off. Let me, I'm so not prepared, am I? 1 second. Okay, so I've got this nail here. So get some, oh my God. I don't know whether I'm just weak or that's just like really difficult to open. Okay. So 2 ways you can do it. You can apply the rhinestone glue directly to the back of the charm, or I'm just going to do a stripe of where I want it on here. And then put that in, and of course it's stuck to me tweezers. So I'm going to cure that down, and then we can trim it and do the ends. And then just to clean out your mould, again, just using a lint-free wipe, open it up, and then it just all comes out. It can be a bit messy, you know, like on your desk, like as you can see. But lint rollers as well, they can be handy, you know, for doing this bit, because you get all those little bits out. But I'm gonna leave that like that for a sec. I just finish what I'm doing. Okay. Right. So that should be dry by now. Got some of these. I got, this is a new palette which I've just got from Shein. Oh, it's so pretty. So trim. And trim. And then, oh, there you go, that'll do. So what I would do is I'd go under there with the rhinestone glue again, and I'd hold it down and then cure them in place. Oh, 1 second. Sorry, postman. And then obviously go over with your top coat. I mean, just look at the detail in it. I'd look at that on a nail and I would still think that that was like just a coloured chain. I wouldn't think it was made with gel polish, do you know what I mean? So this is why I just love moulds. But anyway, got this from Shein. Use a little bit of this one. So these are just like little sparkly toppers. So we've got the base, haven't we, with the ink. And I'm just going to add some glitz. Obviously this stuff is a gel. I mean, with these, if you work on clients, you could definitely make in advance. You could sit there and just do like a full mould, you know, like of all the shells, paint them all, and then you could have them on your charm board for people to choose. So there is that, with some little sparkles. So I'm just going to cure that. In fact, I'm just going to give that 30 seconds. And then, here we go, Mabel's flat time. And the dog's going as well. Oh my days. You gotta love my crazy house, don't you? I mean, come on, the videos would be boring without all of the chaos in the background. And then we're going to put a little pearl in it. So, right. Put a little splodge there. So if you know, that is Mabel. She's doing her morning scream the house down. And then Binky will be piping up, which is the other cockatiel, I'm sure. There we go. And I'm going to cure that now. Right, and then we've got our little Hello Kitty who's got like a naked face. Let's clean off whatever I've got on there. So I think doing, oh, I don't know, I couldn't tell you which is the best way. It's just whatever way works for you, isn't it? I just need to have missed a bit again on the bow. I thought I had, didn't I? But it's okay. I mean, it wouldn't, you know, if this was going on a set of press-ons or something, it'd literally take me just a couple of minutes just to make another one. Do you know what I mean? There's no sort of panic. Sometimes I do just like to sit here and just make charms. And if you want me to do a video while I'm just sitting here making charms, just random, and I'll just waffle a load of crap, let me know. Do a little yellow nose. Right, I'm going to cure that so they don't run off anywhere. And that one is ready to go onto a nail. And obviously once you put it on the nail, you can top coat it. It's cute, isn't it? So you could just make like loads of different colours. I mean, I've got loads of inks, I've got neons, I've got like pastels, and then like these deeper colours. You know, you could make them any way you want to. I mean, you could even top coat that and it's ready to go, just stick on straight away. You know, you've got your flat back, so that would sit cute. And it's all handmade. Silicone moulds are definitely a recommendation from me, especially if you do something like press on nails or whatever, because like I say, it is endless charms. Oh, she's got crazy eyes as well. It's because my brush is curled up at the end, I think. It's just going cray cray. But you know, I can't even see those bloody things there. So there's the little Hello Kitty. So that one was made with the moulding gel. Right, so let me just clear this mess, so when I'm waffling it's like an organised chaos, and I'll be right back with you. Right, so there's the little things that we've experimented with today. A few different ways of doing things, like painting in the mould first, and then painting after it's come out the mould, using inks, and that was with like the gel polish in like a shallow one. Honestly, silicone moulds are just total game changers these days. I've done a recent video, and oh no, it's not in there, is it? One sec. Of me creating these. Now I used a silicone mold to make the lace, the flowers, the window, the bird cage. And all I did with these was I used milky white gel polish in them, and then I used gold alcohol type ink. It's just a cheapy one, Shay one. So it's just like your alcohol inks, but these are like the metallic ones, and that's what I used to colour in for the gold. And the flowers I just used like the inks like I did before. But yeah, so you know that video's up. You can go check that out, because that was using silicone molds. Molds. But yeah, I love them, and you know, if you're thinking about them or you've got them, start using them, honestly, because I mean, I could do that same set but totally change it up. I could make neon windows, I could make silver instead of the gold, you know. So if somebody ordered that, then I could change the colour of the flowers. But I've got a mould, it's just like an endless supply, because the backing of it is just like the milky white. Let's have a look, see what other ones we've got. Oh, my mermaid, I was playing with the mermaid. So this one was definitely one that I painted in the mould first, because I wanted her tail to be like shimmery. So I used a chameleon gel polish from Rarjsm, and I just sort of like, in about 3 layers I think, just pushing it in, so I got all of those little grooves. And then I added like the bikini and everything, you know, when I took her out the mould. If anyone's got any, like, you know, if you need to ask me anything, just ask down below, honestly. It's just, and then I've got like birdies, they're on here as well. There's a little birdie there and another birdie up there. Got a little bird mould, and they're just coloured in with inks, and then I've gone over with the gel. This 3D flower I made myself by making the petals individually and then building them up. I'm going to do a video on, you know, making something like that. I don't necessarily know whether somebody would want something that sticky out on the nail, but it's another handy one to sort of get to know. And my cheeky cherub, got a little cherub mould. See, there's so many different like designs, and you know, I done like a cheeky cherub set, and you could, like I say, you can change the whole vibe with it. I've got so many charms that I've bought, you know, like from Temu and everything, and I could have just literally just made them and saved me space, but no. I also need to sort out all of my nail designs, and their little sea things that I made. This is from the other mould that I had, the seashells, and you can see they're a little bit more raised, those ones. Whoop. So I've made those. There's loads, but I need to sort out my nail tips and put them into a little folder, because this is just from 2026 so far this year, and it's full already, so I need to get all of these sorted. So let me know if you would like to see the video on that, or shall I just do it in my own time? But yeah, they were made with a little mould that I got from my Varnail box, and I put like a cat eye in the mould to make the flowers. So like I say, it's absolutely endless. So any questions or anything like that, please just comment down below, or you can message me on Instagram. The link to my Instagram is in the description box. I hope you found it useful today. Like I say, this is not like me saying this is how things need to be done. This is how I've just figured it out, and this is what I do, and things cure and I get them nicely secured onto the nail. There's no, you know, like chipping them off. I find it quite therapeutic to sit there doing them. And my main product that I use personally for nail mold is a milky white, simply because it's white, and then, well, you see me colour with the inks, or you can paint on with the gel afterwards, do you know what I mean? And that's an 18ml bottle. I'm sure it was only £2.99 from Amazon. Because my favourite milky white is the Born Pretty one, but I don't want to keep using that in my mould because I get through so much of it, and then I've got none left for nail art. But yeah, so any questions, please just comment down below, and hope you found it useful. It is a slightly different video today, like I haven't really done any art or whatever, but I have got some new molds that I am going to be using in an upcoming video, which I've recently like hauled and stuff. Like I've got, this is like a recent one, so I'm going to be doing some beach nails. I've got some goodies coming from Born Pretty that they have sent me to show you, and we're going to be doing a seaside theme. So I'm going to be using this mold because you've got the little flowers, you've got shells, pearl bows, there's a bit of everything on there, and I love it. Right, I'm going to start waffling, and yeah, just let me know if you need anything, and I hope you found it useful. I've probably just waffled and bored you, but if you've got to the end, thank you so much. I appreciate you. Don't forget to give me a like, comment, or subscribe if you're not subscribed. I don't always just do like videos like this. I do actually make press-ons. Like I say, the video for that one is up. It's been up for a few weeks now, if you want to go check that out. There's also a video of me making something like these. Yeah, if there's anything you want to see me do a video on, then let me know that as well. But yeah, if you're not subscribed and you're watching, please consider it. It costs nothing to you, but it means the absolute world to me, and I can't do this without every single one of you people that watch, like, and subscribe, and I've got membership, and I just love all of you. So I'm gonna go before I start getting emotional. Dear me. Right, I love you all, and I hope to see you in the next video. Bye bye.